What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Lazarus and Dangerfield show. I am Mr. Clint Dangerfield, and with me, as always, is Dr. Buck Lazarus. This
I'm a
week,
doctor now.
you are a doctor in the art
PhD.
of doctoring. I couldn't think of anything else. But this week, we are going to look at our favorite car chases. Now, before you get all uppity because we haven't picked, a specific car chase film, there are an absolute ton of them. So this won't be the last car chase movie episode we're doing. There will be more, but we picked three for this week. And
I think I would say, look, this is a modern era. And we've chosen our three favorite. Now, Fast and Furious is obviously been redacted from this because Fast and Furious is its own separate entity. I was thinking about this the other day, and it was like, if you've ever seen Knight Rider and Smokey and the Bandit had a baby. That baby had Gone in 60 Seconds and Ronin. And that baby that came from that was Ja Rule in Fast and Furious 1. That's how the Fast and Furious is a completely separate entity. It's only Ja Rule. It is its own... So it's his own world. It's Venus. It is his own. It literally is. So,
yeah. So now we all know the greatest car chase of all time is when Marty McFly jumped into the DeLorean in the Twin Pines Mall car park to get away from the Libyans, and he drove around the car park.
Okay,
he got to 88 miles an hour before he went back in time to 1955
for the rest
to create the
of the
greatest
normal
movie
world
of all time. But we're not doing that. We're not doing
for the rest of the normal world. We'll look at these three, and you'll see if you agree with me at the end of this show.
Car chases that are nowhere near that opening scene.
Where is the car chase in the back there? What about VW camper? A VW camper versus a DeLorean, a car that was manufactured in Northern Ireland. Nothing against Northern Ireland. It's a beautiful place, but
don't be knocking the DeLorean.
Anyway,
don't be knocking the DeLorean.
VW camper Mark II, might I add.
Shall we begin with the 1998 movie Ronin?
Yes. So, for the plot of Ronin, if you've never heard of this film, it's De Niro. You know, what can you say about De Niro? So, plot is we have a Northern Irish lady. It's played by Natasha McElhone. Hello? I don't know if I'm saying that right. She's been in a few films anyway.
She's in a
of that period, yeah. So, puts together a team of experts, smoldering that she tasks with stealing a valuable briefcase, the contents of which are a mystery. The international team includes Robert De Niro, an ex-intelligence officer, and Vincent, played by Jean Reno of Leon fame. We also have the return of Mr. Typecast, Stellan Skarsgård, and others. As the operation gets underway, several team members are found to be untrustworthy, and everyone must compete for the briefcase while watchful eyes take glance. So, hopefully that explains.
I'm a little surprised Sean Bean wasn't mentioned in that plot summary.
Sean Bean.
Love a bit of Sean Bean.
I find him so irritating in this movie. To be honest, I'm not a big Sean Bean fan. I remember we can talk GoldenEye, and I remember hating him in GoldenEye. And it wasn't until Game of Thrones again, Gotta Love the Got, that I actually liked this guy. But even Lord of the Rings, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not. But yes, Ronin. So it's an espionage kind of thriller. You know, I think we've said it all about. But a team of guys are after a mysterious briefcase. It was during the late 90s, so it was sort of at the end of the Troubles in Northern Ireland. So our main bad guys are Northern Irish, IRA, and the Russians, and both of them are trying to procure this briefcase, this mystery briefcase. But let's talk about the chase.
Yeah, so we're not really going to look at the movies for this one, are we? We're just
the movie's a good movie. Yeah,
I found it. Me personally, I found it just a bit boring. Just
Really?
yeah,
It's
I couldn't get into it.
like all of them have done better. You know, we look at Gene Reno, and he is a great actor. Like I mentioned Leon before, and obviously
He
De
is brilliant
Niro.
in the original Godzilla movie.
Nice. And Stellan Skarsgård, Mr.
He's brilliant in
Typecast.
everything.
He is very heavily typecast. I'm a scientist. I'm an expert on something, and that's what he is in this. So, without any spoilers, he's there to be in front of some sort of information and translate it for the rest of us numbskulls. But
Anyway,
car
the car
chase.
chase. A lot of
So
Citroens,
this,
a lot of Peugeots,
yes,
a lot of French.
100%. Well, it's in France.
Yeah.
So one thing that was poignant about this film at the time was Princess Diana had died. You know, I think it was only a year or
Year
so
before,
prior. So
97.
they do this car chase through these tunnels in France, which at the time I remember watching, even I was like, is that in bad taste? And it was, but it is phenomenal car chasing.
Oh,
You know,
good.
the guy who directed it was, I think he was an ex racing driver anyway. I forget his name, Friggidson, I believe his name is. But he like the cars were raced at 120 miles an hour. Like it was
And
with
they're,
no trailers.
and they're not
It was
racing cars
properly at
either.
speed.
They're just
No, the great thing is,
everyday
well,
cars.
we've got Deirdre, who I mentioned before, played by Natasha McClone, who is driving a BMW M5, but you've got Robert De Niro behind him in pursuit in a Peugeot 406. And like for like, those cars aren't a spec, but you know, you can talk about other cars and some of the greatest car chases. You've got some sort of rival cars, but it's the driving. You know, you're driving through tunnels, you're driving through busy traffic, and it's just the length of this car chase, and it was just epic. It is a great car chase.
It was really good. That was the one part of the movie I did enjoy.
And obviously, if you've read the Lazarus and Dangerfield backstory, you may be familiar with something that we mentioned about a fabled manuscript, and anyone who ever comes to realize the fabled manuscript will realize that Take the Tunnel Now from this movie has a poignance from this. So,
that had me in stitches because I forgot it was in this movie and it came up and I loved it. Yeah.
Take the tunnel now!
Oh, Christ.
So yeah, I completely forgot about this film. It was just I'd completely forgotten the story, and I think that's what you said. It was it wasn't a memorable one. It was quite interesting seeing some old cars. You got Peugeot 405s at the beginning, and Citroen Xantias, if anyone remembers them.
God, yeah.
Lots of collateral damage. That's what I found quite interesting. There's lots of innocent people in the way, and
spoiler alert: Sean Bean doesn't die.
Yeah,
it's one of the very few things
he does
he's been
like to
involved
die.
in.
He does like to die in a lot of stuff. Yeah, he does like to die in a lot of stuff. Game of Thrones.
Or people like to kill him off in a lot of stuff. It's maybe not his choice.
Maybe it's in his contract, but car chase, definitely, you know, I think it's 15-20 minutes and it's just epic. It is one of the
Brilliant.
It is a great handbrake turn in the middle of Paris, which is always good. You don't see that enough in movies, or as you Americans like to call it, the e-brake. But it's a handbrake, you get a hand on it.
Silly Americans. But yes, but from one handbrake turn to another, let's move on to our next movie, Gone in 60 Seconds. Classic. We've watched this. This is one from our youth.
Yes, definitely.
That we loved because it's Nic Cage, and who doesn't love Nic Cage? So what is Gone in 60 Seconds about? Well, it's about basically, as they call it, a boost. So you've got another Yorkshireman, Christopher Eccleston. Brilliant.
Yes. He was great. He was such a good bad guy.
So
Such a
good.
good Batman.
Good bad guy in Mission Impossible 2 as well. Anyway,
You've got
so
loads of people in this.
yeah, you
Loads of
have
people.
indeed. But he's
It's
the
a
main villain, and
smorgasbord.
he wants there's 50 cars that need to be boosted, as they put it, for his client. And Nick Cage's younger brother in the movie is hired to do the job, and he fails. And Nick
Played
Cage
by
being in,
Giovanni Ribisi. So,
yeah,
yeah.
he's a great actor, been in a lot of stuff.
Mm.
So Nick Cage is a retired car thief, and he's brought back in to basically save his brother and boost these 50 cars. And basically, it's done in one night, in one 12-hour period. He gets a crew together to do the job, and that's essentially it. It is just a car heist movie with a lot of amazing cars and a really good cast as well. But like I said, we're not really looking at the movie itself, just the car chases, and there was only really one major car chase.
Yeah, starring, interestingly, a car called Eleanor.
The fabled Eleanor.
So Eleanor is Ford Mustang Shelby GT500, and it was the original. Was the original Gone in 60 Seconds, because this is a remake, was also called Eleanor in that. That was a Mac 1, it might be a Mac 5. I think it's a Mac 1 Mustang. I can check on that, but they use the word Eleanor. Interestingly, though, there was a YouTube channel that rebuilt a Mustang using an original body on a new Mustang shell. So chassis and engine was built on with the original body, the GT500 body. They named it Eleanor. The company that owned the rights to the word Eleanor for any Mustang sued them and had to pull down every video of this basically reconstruction of the car, which is, and this is the craziness of YouTube at times. It's, these guys are doing, they're doing something which is, I think, is great,
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with what they're doing, but they named it Eleanor, unfortunately, which is a shame. But yes, Eleanor is synonymous with this movie. But you've got a great cast in this. You've got Delroy Lindo again. He's really good at that accent. Yeah. So he seems to be our most recurring character at the time.
At the moment, I think Samuel Jackson's very close.
Oh, Samuel, yeah. We got Nic Cage again.
Nick Cage, very young Timothy Olyphant.
Yes, we have Robert Duvall. Side note, Robert Duvall was in Bullet. So I don't know if that is a connection, if there's anything to it, because obviously Bullet is regarded as one of the best car chase movies. But
Angelina Jolie.
And Jolie, who, oh my gosh, I remember back in the day having such the hots for her in this movie. It's amazing how we grow up, but at the time I was like, wow, she's fine. Scott Caan is in this movie, Hawaii Five-0 fame, who is Jimmy Caan, or James Caan's son, if you know Godfather fame. We've got Michael Pena. Here we go. He's another kind of recurring. Yes.
I had to look him up.
Very young
is
Michael Pena.
He was so young.
We won't
very
say much to him.
typecast.
And Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones.
Yes.
Must have been one of his very early roles.
Wasn't bad. It was. I think it was. I think it was his first role, actually.
Because he only had like one line, and the rest of it's just him looking mean.
Master P. So, if any hip hop fans out there, and I remember I was watching this, and I was like, oh, Master P's in this. And I wasn't a fan of Master P. I'm not a fan of Master P, but it was one of those guys was like, so he's in a movie now? And I think it was one of those phases where it was like everyone who was anyone in hip hop was trying to get in a movie. So yeah, it wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible.
He's in the movie.
But that aside, car chase.
Car chase. So this was very Hollywood. It was a very Hollywood, I want to say, car chase. When we look at Ronin, it felt
very real,
authentic.
Yeah,
it was. And it's your main car chase. It's sort of the end of the movie, the climax of the movie. It's a very entertaining climax, and obviously, if you watch the movie, look, Nic Cage is great in this movie. He is, and this was sort of when Nic Cage, I want to say, was watchable. Not that I don't want to say anything because there are a lot of people who still pretty watch every movie you watch. But
Just
we did
just
Jiu-Jitsu, and you
very
hated it, didn't you?
just oh, I hated jujitsu, but just very quickly,
Yeah.
did the soundtrack sound familiar to you? Well, sorry, did the score sound familiar to you in Gone in 60 Seconds? Can you remember?
No, I can't.
Because I was watching it thinking, this sounds very much like Con Air. And so I looked it up,
Ah.
and the actual score of the movie is done by the same guy that did Con Air.
Oh, sure. But you get
And I
these
was
people
like,
like Hans
that's
Zimmerman, and
that's
we had
brilliant.
Lalo Schifrin, and a lot of them, they have their
It just
sounds, don't they?
yeah,
So,
it was very
um,
recognizable. But anyway, it just suddenly popped
yeah.
into my head, so I thought I'd add it in.
Look, it's an entertaining film, and I think it's a great car chase. There are some
Yeah.
great elements. I love there's a really great scene where a policeman's chasing him, and you get a wrecking ball that basically just smashes him through a wall, which I just think is a great. And just you've got Timothy Oliphant who says, "You just went through a wall." I just think it's a great line. He's superb. He's
Yeah.
always got these really great lines, and he delivers them. Like if you've seen him in Hitman, I always liked him as an actor. I still think rate him as an actor, and I think the combination of the actors, they work really well together. And of all the three, this is the one I enjoyed the most. Car chase though. Well, let's get to the Bourne Identity.
Yeah. So the Bourne Identity, starring Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. This is about a man is picked up by a fishing boat, bullet riddled and suffering from amnesia before racing to elude assassins attempting to regain his memory.
So, Bourne Identity, I feel like it deserves its own episode on itself, and so I think we should segue. We should segue straight to the. It is look, after watching this film, I literally started watching the rest.
I really wanted to watch the rest, but I was like, I can't.
Yeah, and the fact is, there's 5 of them in the series, including the Jeremy Renner one, which I still think is a good one, although it's not canon. Like, what kind of is, but not. It's not Matt Damon, but hopefully anyone who's watching this will pick up on that reference. No spoilers. But yes, car chase aside. So in this one we have an
original mini
action.
Which
so
that
I should say
you look at an original mini, and it baffles me that thing was allowed on the road. It's just a shell of a small car.
He does say to her, "Do you take good care of your car?" So he says to his girlfriend, or his passenger at the time, played by
Franca Potente. I think that's how you say her name, anyway.
That's it. Yeah. So she's his passenger, I should say. But yes, so it's again a race through the streets of Paris against the police.
Yeah.
Noteworthy, I should say. Obviously, if you see the next Bourne film, Bourne Ultimatum, again, Bourne Supremacy, I should say. There's a great race in Moscow of Matt Damon again in a taxi versus the police.
Yeah.
Some people say it's better. I generally think the original was.
This was a great car chase.
Look, the great thing about Paris is it's small. It's small streets. If you've ever been to Paris, it's very heavily congested. Like people leave their handbrakes off because you kind of push cars along to get your car into park. It's kind of a crazy mental city. The only thing I found disappointing about this, and I don't know if you agree with me, was how short it was actually.
It was.
And it was such a short.
It still felt
car chase.
Genuine, like a kind of real car chase. But yeah, it was short, but everything that was in it that I thought was brilliant. It was really well choreographed.
But the thing is, I guess looking at the Ronin and Bourne, you have 2 front-wheel drive cars where the Mustang in Gone in 60 Seconds is a rear-wheel drive car, so it's always going to kick out. And so particularly using, like, a Mustang wouldn't work in Paris. It just wouldn't, you'd be hitting a lamppost and that'd be the end of it. Oh, police have caught me. I'm Matt Damon. So, but yes, it's been short and sweet, but we wanted to say our favorite car chases. And like I said, you can Google this. I still stand by the fact that of the last 20 years, Fast and Furious, separate entities, as I mentioned, but standalone films, these three probably have the three best car chase films of the last 20 years.
Of the last 20 years, yes. Yeah, because that doesn't include Back to the Future in them.
Do this. Let's rank them. So, as I said, we watched them all three anyway. But of the three, which was your favorite car chase?
I would say Ronin.
Yeah.
For me, it would be Ronin, Bourne, and then Gone in 60 Seconds.
And I would agree with you completely. For authenticity, for real driving, for engagement in what they're doing, and it was definitely because it feels real.
It gives you that slightly intense feeling about it because it feels real. Whereas Gone in 60 Seconds, it's an enjoyable car chase, but it is, like you said, it's Hollywood.
It's Hollywood.
Car chase. It's over the top.
Okay, the Bug Lazarus and Clint Dangerfield review of films, though. Which one did you find the most entertaining to watch?
So that order would be Bourne Identity, Gone in 60 Seconds, and then Ronin.
Okay, so I would go. I think I'm going to go with Gone, and the reason why I say Gone first is because I loved it. I forgot how good it is, and I still stand by this. I stand by this statement. I don't think Fast and Furious would necessarily exist without Gone in 60 Seconds. Bourne is an espionage spy film, and if you watch James Bond or any of that, there's always a car chase at its credence. Ronin was it's good, it's entertaining. I've seen better films with De Niro and all of these actors, but the car chase is epic, and I think that's why, without that car chase, I think that film would have got lost.
Yeah.
But that car chase sort of makes it famous. But I think, you've got, it's kind of like, Nic Cage was great, and for some people, I feel like it's a platform. That was a very, very successful film, and there's still a lot of people who talk about it, and whilst Bourne probably launched Matt Damon's career, I think there's a mystique about Gone in 60 Seconds, but people can go back and forget about what Nic Cage is about now and enjoy that and be a gearhead and look at some great cars.
So there we have it. There are our favorite car chases. Let us know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and click on the little bell notification to be notified of when the next episode is up. And we will see you next time.
And don't forget, plenty of lube.
So how do y'all want to play this?
Fast.